Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Grapplers Academy. Today we're starting the back attack series, which is going to be a 4-week series looking at various options that we've got for attacking the back. Now, a lot of people get to the back, but I think a lot of feedback that we've had is actually struggling to get finishes and control.
Yeah, I think one of the key ones I found is controlling the hips. A lot of people struggle with, and they have the wrong priorities when they're actually attacking the back, as opposed to sort of securing, taking your time and sort of working up. It's I can't get a choke and this position doesn't work, or they just don't have the right position and they don't have the right control points to maintain that position. I think.
Very much like a rush to get to the submission before controlling the position, which is a mistake in any position. You want to make sure that you've got your opponent locked down first before you start going for the attack. So do you want to take us through some of your...
So what we'll do first is I've got a bit of a different take on the hooks on the back. One of my coaches, Darren, has shown me this, and Cam has shown me this, but we've also seen Galval play with this in his match against Pal Harris, and he doesn't go for your typical 2 hooks. For me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the 2 hooks, as it's easier to escape that, as you've got less control over the hips, and me having little stumpy legs, I can actually body triangle people. It's a soft spot. But I prioritise the bottom hook, and I will lock the hips up with the bottom hook. So start from this point here, and typically when you've got this kind of control, your opponent can start escaping a little bit quicker and relatively easy. So what we're going to do, just going to sort of fall to the side here, so you can see where we're going. So we're falling to the side here, and you need your points for the backscape, for the back take with your 2 hooks in, and once you're here, you kind of get told that this is the best control point for somebody, and if you've got long legs, that's my back triangle, I'm not going to go for it. So I'm going to prioritise the control of the bottom hook. Now this bottom hook here stops Bond's hips from moving, and it sort of helps me control whether he can escape or not. So I'm going to bring my... One sec. Come back a sec.
Sorry mate.
That's alright. So I'm going to come back here, control this bottom hook, and like I said, once you've got the bottom hook, just keep it there.
I won't escape from this one. Sorry, it's just ingrained in me.
So once we've got the bottom hook in, it helps keep the hip in control, and sort of, because the key way for people to escape is to actually turn the hip up, loosen this bottom hook and get the hips free. So I'm going to send my other leg behind, and I'm going to get the sort of almost like get a closed guard around the bottom hook. I'm going to pinch the knees together. Now this here really helps sort of control the bottom hook. Now as Bond starts to escape, I've got a lot more control over his hips, as opposed to here. If he starts trying to turn his hips and move around, he can actually get out there a lot easier. Now what I'm actually doing in this position is, just go rotate this way a touch, is I'm starting to wrap this bottom leg up. So when I'm here, we're falling down, I'm closing the feet around the hook there, and if you've got long legs, figure 4 your legs here, but once you're there, you're going to squeeze the knees together and do a little hamstring curl here, and this will control the hips in a much better fashion than your traditional 2 hooks in. And again, once you're here and you're controlling the hips, as your partner starts trying to move and escape, the only movement that they can typically get is within their upper body. Now, another control point where I think we've both been asked this question quite commonly is the hand fighting side of it. Now, you see a lot of people, they start grabbing the forearms and the wrists, and they're fighting the arms, not the hands. And I think it was John Danaher who's made this sort of comment before as well, where you're going to fight the hands. Now, Bond's quite a strong player, so if I'm taking his wrist and he starts trying to extend his arm, that's really uncomfortable, and it puts my hand in a really awkward position, so I can lose my grip very easily. Now I'm going to go 2 fingers on the wrist and 2 fingers on the palm, and I'm going to take like a bit of a false grip on there and controlling this. Now as Bond tries to extend his arm, because I've taken the extension over 2 joints and it's over the sort of smaller, weaker joint, he's got a lot less power going through the arm. I think my coach Cam sort of calls it like is it the Vulcan sign?
Yeah, from the Star Trek thing.
Live long and prosper, that's the one. So I'm going 2 fingers on the wrist, 2 fingers on the hand, and I'm taking a false grip here and I'm just keeping it nice and tight. And from here it really helps control the limb and stops them from getting their hands free so they can start to defend more effectively. So again, as Bond starts pushing away with that grip in the hand, I've got a lot more control over this. And we can also start taking it from both ways, or even if you've got double underhooks here to control, it's much easier to control someone's hands when you're actually fighting the hands rather than the arms. Now, you've got a pretty interesting concept on that, breaking this down and getting to the neck, haven't you?
Yeah, so, of course it goes without saying that when we're just showing that technique there, we're focusing on the arm, on the bottom that we're trapping. Of course, if you've got your back taken, the first thing that you should be thinking about doing is protecting your neck. So if I've got size back here, even with just the seat belt initially, the first thing that he's going to be looking to do is stopping this hand getting in. So we're talking about this wrist control here. I was just showing this free hand, but of course if I've got this trapped in, he's going to be doing everything to try and fight this hand from getting in to stop the choke. So what we can do to try and up our chances of getting a finish on the neck here, when obviously he knows what attack we're looking for, is we can use this pinch and fight to try and trap this arm. And a nice way to try and do it is to try and trap it underneath the leg, and then you've got 2 arms available to try and fight on for the neck. So the way that we'll kind of do that is by dropping to the side that we're going to look to attack here, and we can look to come up and grab and trap the arm. What we want to do is try and keep that as high up on top as we can and keep a good pinch in with the leg as well at the same time. I'll come around and show you a slightly different angle on this in a second, but there's a nice little gap for me to pull my arm out of the back there while still keeping a good squeeze on. So I can't get this arm out now, and it's going to be very difficult for him to defend, and it's one arm of his defending versus my 2 attacking arms. We've got short choke options and we've got rear naked choke options there, but that puts me in a perfect position now of having 2 attacking arms on his single defending arm. So again, from a slightly different angle, let's just slide on there. So we've got that initial seatbelt control, which everyone will be familiar with. And then if I first initially just go for this trap here, size fighting the other hand, and we've got the trap, we're going to drop to the side, and then I'm going to use my arm to come up and over and trap his tricep or his elbow below my knee, but also in between my forearm as well. So if he just tries to pull that out of there, it's already locked in nice and tight. I can start bringing my legs up and start locking down on the body like you've seen from the front, but there's still a nice little gap for me to pull my arm out. As I'm doing so, I'm going to squeeze my legs tight so that you can't get the arm out even further. And now again, we're in the same position that we showed from the front, where we can get the short choke or the rear naked choke from there. So just one option of trying to eliminate your opponent's defensive options and open up more options for you to attack from the back.
No, definitely. The sooner you can sort of stack the odds in your favour and go 2 limbs against the 1, it's going to massively increase your chances of winning the match. And with that same position as well, there's nothing stopping you from going back to controlling the other free hand and attacking the neck with the other hand you've got free as well. Just be very aware of your head positioning. Like, it's very difficult to choke with your head on the same side as the arm that's attacking. So switch your head position and then start attacking the choke from there as well.
Should we just quickly run through some basics on the finish of the choke, just for people who are unfamiliar?
Let's do it.
Let's jump on the back there and just have a look at like what's effective and what's not. So when we're attacking here, obviously if we just got the simple seatbelt position, the choking arm is always going to be the one that's over the top. We can't really do anything with this side, and usually what a typical defence might be from the person there is to come over and try and trap on that, so that we're isolating from a defensive point of view to attack. But from side position, it's going to be this top arm that's going to be the choking one. So that's the one that I want to worry about. So if you want to...
Yeah, so once we're here, you need to make sure that you're nice and tight on their back. So firstly, secure the position. Good seatbelt grip, good hooks, or preferably the hook we've just shown before. I always try and imagine that I'm trying to go ear to ear with them. And this takes away a lot of space and movement in their shoulders. As I'm doing this, I can start to bring and pass my arm across the body. Now, my preferred finish from the back is actually a short choke, as it requires a little less setting up and it's easier to get access to the neck with the forearm than it is for reaching all the way around.
Yeah, because sometimes what we're going on here is like, obviously if the guy who's defending has got good defence, we've got to be keeping a tight hold of that. And for Sai to get his elbow all the way through to start attacking on there is going to be a lot more difficult than him for just to instantly go from there to there on the neck, as opposed to coming all the way across and through. Because I'm going to be defending that, either baseball bat or otherwise.
Yeah, definitely. So once we're there and we do start attacking the neck, they're going to go super strong with this defence here. So we want to be doing our best. Rather than bringing this arm out and coming over the top, try and come underneath, and we're going to fight again. Two fingers on the hand, two on the wrist, and start pushing them limbs away. And even as they're defending, always be trying to walk your hand across their body and try and grab your fingertips onto the back of the shoulder blade. So as we're sort of here, once we sort of get round and further enough round the neck and we're attacking, use their actual body against them, dig your fingers in and find the sort of bony landmarks that's on the back. Now once you're here, you can use it to secure it, and now you can bring this arm out to then start finding the finish for the rear naked or the finish for the short choke. And then once you're here, again, you're wanting to kind of make sure the hips are free and making sure that your chest is securely back to their shoulders so you can get the maximum squeeze of your arms.
And the same basics that we talked about from the front on attacking as well are the same on defence. So Sai did a good job of explaining about grabbing the end of the levers. So if I'm attacking on the back here and I'm quite deep sunk in, if Sai starts grabbing down close to my elbow, there's not a lot of power in his favour there. I'm going to be able to keep a nice tight grip. So from a defensive point of view, he's going to want to start working up towards the hand. Again, where I'm weaker and he's got more leverage over my limb that's attacking. So yeah, just to reiterate that the same points on attack are equally as important from defence.
Oh, definitely.
On that as well.
Like I say, if you want to get better on the defence, you reverse engineer the attack, and if you want to get better at the attack, reverse engineer the defence, so you know what your opponent needs to do to stop your attack or defence, so you can start planning ahead when you're mounting your attack.
Yeah, so those are just some of the basics for you there today, a couple of basic concepts. I know we touched on attacking and defending, but we're mostly going to be looking at attacking over the course of the weeks. The next 4 weeks, I'm sure some defensive concepts will come up as well. But yeah, if you liked what you saw, make sure you stay tuned over the next couple of weeks. Last thing we touched on in the previous series on attacking the turtle was how to take the back. Just one option to get into this position to carry on. So if you've got a bit of a trouble getting into this position to start off with, maybe go back and check out that series first.
No, definitely. And again, these might be some concepts that might be new to you. So if you've got any questions about them, feel free to fire them over and we'll be happy to discuss them. And try them out in the gym. Like, if you're unsure but it looks interesting to you or you think it might fit your style of play, give it a go and let us know what you think, and let us know how successful or unsuccessful you are, so we can then either give you tips on how to maybe adjust it for your body type, or even just see if you're doing anything different that maybe we do differently to you.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Do you have more success with a rear naked choke or a short choke? Do you even know what the difference is between the two? Stay tuned and find out.
There we go.
Everything that you want to get in touch with us is on at the Grapplers Academy, whether that's on the social medias. All the podcasts are the Grapplers Academy as well if you want to search those. We've just done a great podcast interview with Dan Strauss that everybody's got to go and check out.
Yeah.
It was awesome, that, wasn't it? Really enjoyed that one.
Probably
super fun. I'm really glad we got the opportunity to sit down and do that. We go into a topic obviously about jiu-jitsu and grappling, but there's strength in there and a couple of other things that you might not necessarily think that were going to crop up.
No, it was actually really insightful. He's given plenty of way for me to go away and actually read up on. I'm sure you fancy it.
Absolutely. So go ahead and check that out as well. That's up on YouTube and on the audio version as well. Also hit us up on social medias as well. Sai's Coach by Sai.
Yep.
And I'm at the Bonafide PT. So get in touch with us on there if you don't want to get in touch with us at the Grapplers Academy. And see you over the coming weeks.
Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button and share with everybody.